Carlbo Tennis.
Hi, tennis coach Robert here. Today we're going to talk about the toss position. Okay, so we're going to talk about the toss position right now. A lot of players have a difficult time with the toss position, so we're just going to go ahead and explain it. The toss position is going to help us with the stance, to have a better stance, better balance, as well as is going to help us with accuracy, direction, and so on. So we want to make sure that we understand this properly. Okay. So back to the fundamentals of having our stance, where we have the left foot at 45 degrees, the right foot at 90. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and make sure that I'm going to put this ruler here to point this at 45 degrees. So I'm going to put this here close to 45 degrees here. And then I'm going to have this one here, right here at 90. And so we have this area right here. That's our target area. And I'll explain that in a second. So my left arm is going to be at 45 degrees. So I'm going to have it right above my foot. So right here. So I'm going to go ahead and my left arm is going to be here. This is important because when I toss the ball, I hit it as a right-handed person, my swing path is slightly to my right. So here. Not here, but here. So I need to make sure that if I do an underhand serve, for example, if I have the ball here, I drop it here, I'm going to miss it. So if my hand is at 0 degrees and I drop it, I'm going to miss it. The only way I can do that unless I make some kind of adjustment. So if we think about it in terms of the toss, if I have my arm pointing straight forward here and I release the ball here, you can adjust your hand, but we want to make sure that when we release the ball to go up, it's at 45 degrees. So if my hand is over here, I toss the ball and I swing, I'm going to miss it unless I toss the ball and move my feet to try to adjust to get it. So we want to make sure that once we have our stance in order, that we have the left arm pointing at 45 degrees, okay? Because when I go ahead and throw a ball or swing, my right arm is going to go here and slightly to my right. So we want to make sure that the two of them connect. So if you can imagine this intersection of this particular pattern above my head. So I draw a line here. My racket comes up. It's going to go through this same pathway. So it's going to draw this line. If I imagine this line, if I have it up here, it's going to draw a line straight above here. And then I'm going to connect it right above where my arm is and be able to hit the ball successfully. So I go here, I draw a line here. And remember, this has to come forward. So I'm doing this because it is easier and less can go wrong. You can go straight up. You still have to connect the ball here. You can do, instead of a straight take back, you can do abbreviated take back. You can do all the different, you can pass it this way. But at the end of the day, when you strike the ball is going to be struck slightly to your right, okay? Once we get better at it and you want to do a kick serve, you can toss the ball more this way and bend your knees and load up and go up on the ball. But again, that requires more, it's a much more difficult shot for us to do. We can do that after we have gained our accuracy and our consistency. So we go here, we toss the ball slightly to the right, okay, here, and I'm able to hit the ball into the spot. So I go here, up, and slightly to my right. So I struck that ball slightly to my right. I'm not worried about how high the toss is or anything else. We're just talking about the placement. So in all the parts of the serves, there are different things we talk about. We don't want to get too focused on too many things because we get confused. So today we're just focusing on making sure this is at 45 degrees, okay? So we draw a line at 45 degrees. So once I have that, I'm much more likely to have the ball going into the right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and move this, and I'm going to show you a lot of times what I see. So I see players going ahead, and it's a very common one. They will serve the ball, and the ball is tilted too much to the left. They're trying to do a kick serve sometimes, and they're not accurate enough in terms of hitting the ball. So they go here, and we go this way. So generally speaking, when you see someone serving and the momentum is going to the side, we know that the toss is a little bit off. So we want to go ahead and serve, and when we serve here, the momentum is going this way. It's going to be much more difficult for me to hit my spots too. Okay? From an injury point, I come over here, my back leg, my right leg, is supposed to help me with my counterbalance. So it's supposed to go this way. Okay? But if it goes to the side, this way, one of the other things that could happen is I could stretch my obliques, and I could get some strain in my side here, and we have some injury. So we don't want to do that. So we get here, I pull this way, leaning this way, causes stress onto my obliques. We want to go ahead and make sure that we're going forward. So many times, again, when you see the pros, I'm going to do a jump version here without the ball here. They're able to go forward right where the ball is going if they were to serve and volley. So again, we come here, they load, and the ball goes exactly where it's supposed to go. We don't want to go ahead and have them go here because of the toss being in the wrong spot. And when we do that, we're going to have a situation where we can't accurately hit the ball. So it's very, very important. So we want to make sure that that toss is in the right spot. The other thing that can happen is if it's too far this way, we can also make it go too far this way. So sometimes you see professional tennis players with a tossing arm, they will start here, but when they release the ball, it gets up into this 45 degree. Many times we'll go here and we toss the ball here and try to hit it here, and that becomes problematic. So we get here and we're hitting it too far to the side. We want to make sure that we have contact at 45 degrees. So this is very, very important. Together with the stance, we're much more likely to get some accuracy and some consistency. So 45, 90, draw a line, ball over here, I can hit the ball into my spot. When I'm able to do this successfully, I can add more spin to it. I can add more power to it as well. So I hope this position of the toss was useful and helpful for you. It's all part of a big picture. The serve has many, many parts to it. The stance, the grip, the shape of the swing, the follow through, all the different parts. And when you're working on your serve, or you're working on any shot for that matter, in a technical sense, we want to focus on making sure we're working on one thing. Once we get that one thing going, we can work on the next thing. It's much more difficult if we try to work on the stance and the toss and the shape of the shot and so on, all at one time. And then if we add the tactical to it, we have to hit the ball out wide here and so on. It's going to be a really, really challenging thing. So just stick with one thing when you're working on your serve. So in this situation here, one technical thing, one tactical thing. So tactics would be consistency. Just get the ball in, or you can work on direction. So pick spots, hit that direction, make sure you're using good form. The other parts of the form may not necessarily be 100%, but for this lesson, we were working on the left arm here at 45 degrees. Want to make sure that happens as often as possible. Don't worry about the other parts. Sometimes, of course, when you have the right stance, because the stance is such an important part that it will correct itself, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy it, please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing and talking to you soon. Thank you.
For more information on Carlbo Tennis, visit www.carlbotennis.com. If you wish to email Coach Robert, please do so at robert@carlbotennis.com or visit his Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Carlbo Tennis. Tennis for the people.